evening.
Welcome.
How are you all? Well, I trust.
A bit late for Halloween. It's never too late for Halloween in the house of Boo.
No, it's always Halloween, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
How are you? It's really lovely to have you all with us.
It's been a long time, hasn't it? It was an extra week.
It feels like a lot longer this time. I feel like
Thanks
it's
for your
been
patience.
ages. We missed you guys. How have you been? How's the weather treating you? I understand it's raining in sunny Burbank. What?
Well, it's raining here, but that's typical for here.
Well, yes, it is. It's typical for here.
It's
We
a
enjoy
relief,
it.
though. It's so dry. But anyway, enough weather. We've got so many more exciting things to be talking about.
Yes.
Part of which I wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody because Nightclub Mishap was on the BBC introducing, and you guys turned out in incredible force and told them exactly how much you thought of us, and they thought, yes, that's great.
It was brilliant. And you all got together and basically flash mobbed the BBC,
Yes.
which was proof
incredible.
proof that if we want to, we can make this country work.
Yes,
Right?
we have the power. And so they made a track of the day, which, woohoo!
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they've asked us to do a live lounge in January. So
Which is a
that's
very
something
great
to look
honour.
forward to.
Yeah, we have actually done a live lounge before, but it's nice to
long
do
time
another
ago.
one now that we've, now that we sort of know what we're doing.
I think we played a sort of moody experimental track on it. It wasn't super radio friendly.
Absolutely. I could see them, their faces dropping in the control room because we played a really dirgy, slow song. And it's like, keep it happy, guys. Keep it poppy. Keep it really, woo, up and all that. Oh, dear.
Wow.
We kind of, ooh.
We're not ones to follow convention.
Or to follow good advice.
Well, this time it'll be all bangers, wall-to-wall bangers.
All bangers. The bangers are coming out.
Lots of fun stuff happened this month. We got to be on Sonic State together, which was amazing.
Yes, we did. We did indeed. And in fact,
fulfilling a bit of a long-held dream for us. Sonic Talk 731 with Nick and Gaz on.
There it was.
Chris even got to coin the title.
I think yes, I've got to do the title. So that was a really great honour to be on Sonic Talk. And if you haven't seen that, go and watch it. I think it's a pretty good episode.
Yeah, it was loads of fun.
And if you haven't watched it, what the hell are you playing at? You should be watching it every week. You know that. Come on now.
Required viewing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Completely. But yes, so that happened. What else happened?
Well, before we leave the world of Sonic State, they had news themselves. They're hosting an EMOM in Bath this month. I think it's the 26th of November. We'll be there. Everybody who's anybody will be there. And we recommend you be there if you can.
Yes, there it is. So if you see there, it's at Charlie's Bar in Bath City Football Club. Exciting. And if you go to their page, it'll take you over to a tickets page. Now, the tickets are very, very reasonable, £5, and there are at least 7 acts going to be on in the evening. It starts at 7 o'clock and ends at 11:30, and it really is a good idea if you get your tickets booked as soon as possible if you're planning on going, because there is a limit on the number of people that are allowed in the football club. Probably something to do with a football injury that happened maybe 10, 15 years ago, or some kind of, maybe it's fire regulations, I don't know. Anyway, so if you are thinking of going, get that sorted ASAP.
We're going. We've bought train tickets. We bought the tickets.
Yes, we have.
Oh, good. Phew. Get in there, folks.
Get in there,
folks. They won't
folks.
last. The last time Sonic State did an event was back in 2018, I think.
Yes, it was.
And that was incredible. They live streamed the whole thing, simulcast on YouTube. So those of you who aren't in the UK, you may be able to catch it online.
Yeah, it was really great. It will be live streamed, so yeah, check that out. But do go, and if you do go, come and say hello. And there's going to be lots of really interesting, fun people there. So yeah, check that out. Also, speaking of meeting fun and interesting people, nice segue. I should be on the BBC. We met Andrew Kay. It feels like ages ago, but hello, Andrew. I see you there. Are you there? Hello.
He is there.
Reaching out to you.
He's talking about the rain.
Tickling your forehead.
You said he's writing a song called Waiting for the Battery-Operated Orchestra.
We didn't keep him waiting that long, did we?
I thought we were live, but I hadn't clicked the button. That's why the countdown was only from 1 minute 30. Sorry, guys. We were here.
Really?
Yeah. We were here all along.
Sorry, everyone. So that was lovely. We also went to see The Bug last week at the where was it? Oh,
Fabric.
Fabric.
First time I've
in
ever
Farringdon.
been to Fabric. What an amazing venue.
Yeah, it's really nice, really lovely.
Really cool.
To tell you the truth, though, it wasn't loud enough. I don't know if you remember from BOOcast number 3. I think Bridget read out some quotation.
A quote about it, physically moving you to almost bilious movements. But no, not that. But, very intense sound.
We bought ear defenders.
Especially for it. I mean, I've only had like dodgy little earplugs forever. So we've spent some money on some decent earplugs and took them out after a couple of songs and it got a lot better.
Yeah, it just wasn't loud enough. Yeah. I mean, that's the basic fact of it. So that was okay. Yeah. More interesting news. So we've got GeForce have brought out the Oddity 3. And if we're mainly sort of hardware people. We do have the Oddity and love it to pieces. Now, the Oddity 3 is out. And if you look here on the GeForce website, they currently have a bit of a sale on. And you can get the Oddity for 49 quid, 50 quid instead of 100, and everything's cut down. But something I noticed here, look at that. The Imposca 2 is 30 quid. And that's a bit of a bargain. So I reckon you should check that out if you like. The Oddity is wonderful. A previous project basically used nothing but it, and it worked perfectly. It's just did many jobs for me. So yeah, and Halloween's been out. So did you see any good horror films?
Oh, not last year. We did a horror film nearly every day of the month.
We did.
We cut right back this year because I think we exhausted a lot of the best of lists.
Yeah.
We were trying to see things we hadn't seen before, so we're digging out odd things.
We found something, and this is a recommendation. Castle Freak. Have you ever seen that? Now, it's written by the people and directed by the people that did the original Reanimator, and actually all the Reanimators. And the story of this film is the producers had the poster made up and told Stuart Gordon and the screenwriter, whose name I've temporarily forgotten, go away and write a movie that fits the poster. So amazing creative
and they
sort
did
of
it in no time flat as well.
They did it in a month and they shot the first draft, and you look it up by everyone's judgment, it's the best thing they've ever done.
For a B movie, like you go in with B movie expectations, but it's surprisingly touching and nuanced. But it also has an incredibly gory scene that I won't spoil. But if you're squeamish and don't enjoy people eating people.
Spoilers, crikey. Anyway, let us know if you made any good horror movie discoveries, because we're on the lookout.
For Halloween, we had a 30th anniversary screening of Ghostwatch, which was fantastic.
Yes, we did. If you haven't seen Ghostwatch, I think it's on YouTube. You can check it out. This was a BBC TV drama, which was completely dressed up to look like a live broadcast. It had people that were normally seen in sort of daytime television and sort of not their drama programming. Michael Parkinson and I can only remember Craig Charles. Nobody wants to really bless his heart. Sarah Green from Blue Peter.
It's very much sort of the reality TV vibe before reality TV was even that much of a thing as well.
Yeah, totally.
So it's very verite. What's the word?
That's the word.
Yeah.
So we watched that. But yeah, that's enough. That's our news. That's it.
There's other news.
There's more news.
There's more news.
What?
I mean, unless we're running out of time.
No.
So we got a couple of things this month. Exciting purchases for the studio.
Oh.
We got the DF Audio Mini Bay, which we're very excited about plumbing in at some stage.
It's going to be plumbed in eventually. There it is.
Chris might even do a review on it, possibly.
We talked about it last month. I'm very excited about that.
And we went to Bonner's in Eastbourne, which is a massive piano and guitar specialist shop, and we bought a digital piano.
Is that it? Is that the end of that sentence?
Why would we need a digital piano, you may ask? We've got a room and a house full of synths. Both Chris and I mean, I've always wanted to learn piano since I was a kid. And I mean, that's kind of what spawned my interest in synths. I was like, I can engage with this interface. But I never have. I've kind of just always felt it out and learned patterns and done things by ear, much as you have. And I found this brilliant course online that you can do. It's called Pianote. It's by a company called Musora, and they do a huge program originally about how to play the drums. Drumeo, it's called. And they do have singio, guitario. I think they've got loads of instruments.
Singio.
Yeah. But I'm learning to play proper piano, and it's such a joy, right?
Yes, it really is. And I've been playing a lot, and it's actually really spiritually, and it feels nourishing, to play something it's not a real piano. I did have a play on the real pianos at Bonner's and went, that's very nice. But it's got a pretty nice whirly, pretty nice Rhodes built into it, fairly expressive. Currently, I'm playing religiously every day, at least 5 times, the theme from Taxi. Because it just makes everything better
it's so
somehow.
Cozy.
And Bree's doing her Danny DeVito impersonations.
Am I?
She is.
I can't think of a single thing he says right now.
We'll think of some. You're a bit tall as well, to be fair.
Love Taxi.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's a joy to have a piano in the house. It's great for composing on. And I just really wanted to give a little shout out to Bonner's Music because their people there are amazing. They're not pushy. They're really knowledgeable. They let you touch everything and play it. They even got a brand new Korg B2 digital piano out of the box just for me to try and feel how it felt, because you really don't know till you feel it.
Actually, yeah, another thing,
I didn't buy it.
They let me play the new Hammond dual manual. I can't remember what it's called, but it's very strange. I mean, it's lovely. Obviously, it sounds really nice. It's digital. It's all digital, but the front face of it is really crammed with knobs and buttons, and I just saw it from the other end of the room. I went, what's going on there? It's got a mono synth built into it, a VA mono synth on the top right-hand corner of this Hammond organ, and I was confused. I'm just as confused as it's possible to be. I just thought, why would you do that? Surely the people that want a Hammond organ aren't gonna also, and it's $3,000. Why would you want a little? I mean, really, it's not as good as a Micro Freak. It's a lot. It's more like a Reface CS sort of interface. Not a bad synth, but anyway, that was a weird moment.
Yeah.
We talked enough.
Yeah, other people saying they love Bonner's. Good, they do good YouTube videos.
Oh, do they?
Know. Someone mentioned Barbarian, the film, and I want to see that as well. It looks really good.
What's that?
Watch the trailer. It's sort of.
Is it too gory for the show?
No, it's like an Airbnb going wrong.
Oh.
So a woman shows up at an Airbnb and it's double booked.
Oh,
and the guy's like, it's all right, you can sleep on the sofa. And it's all like, oh, he's dodgy, but it's not him. There's
saw the
something
trailer.
else going on.
I did see the trailer. Oh, something's happened here. What's gone wrong?
I consider Scary Movie season to start officially on October 1st, and it runs all the way through to the Christmas Ghost Story.
Fair enough.
Then you can have your sunny, happy times.
Good advice there. Okay, so yeah, there we go. That's enough.
Most of the news, yes. That's
so enough of us gabbing away. I think that's everything.
It's plenty. That's plenty.
That's plenty. That's plenty, Jack. Do you know that reference? Maybe you don't. Anyway, Bridget Sutherland, what's happening now?
Well, I got to interview the amazing electronic artist Petra Black this month.
Did you
right
know?
Here in the Boo studio. And I'd like to share that with you. It was really lovely to meet her.
Fantastic. So here's an interview with Petra Black.
Petra Black is a musician and artist who left the DJ world to create the kind of music that she felt was missing from her club playlists. Originally from Saragossa, Spain, and now residing in London, we're very happy to have her here in the Boo studio with us today. Welcome, Petra Black.
Thank you.
So, having been an international DJ and the creative force behind so many events, what made you want to shift to creating music?
I have been in the background for many, many years, organising events and DJing and kind of playing other people's music. And I also had a desire to experiment. Like, my idea was never to sort of create an album or create music as such. It was more like creative experimentation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How did it sort of start for you with that journey?
I got an iPad as a present like a iPad mini, and then I downloaded some apps there that basically there was so many different synthesizer apps, and I started experimenting with those, and that felt a lot more accessible because I never studied music, or I kind of learned visually, so the kind of like usability of like iPads actually allowed me to experiment and create melodies, and then as I kind of learned a bit more, then I was able to make those into kind of more of a finished thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that seems like a really natural progression, because you have this kind of rich background in visual art as well, and this holistic approach to creating events and things. So that kind of goes well with my next question, like how did you find your sound? And it sounds like just through experimentation over time.
I've always been quite obsessed with certain sounds. So when I first started experimenting with like my iPad, I was really trying to find like a very particular type of bass that felt like, I think at the time, like I had experience of depression, and I was trying to kind of find sounds that could somehow translate what I was feeling. I was always really, I still am quite like drawn to bass sounds. For some reason, like hi-hats like don't quite, I don't know, it's a sensorial thing. Like sometimes they don't quite go with like the way I feel, and get quite like hyper focus on like particular sounds that
it sounds
kind of
like
resonate in a way. And I just because I don't have I don't know, like I'm not like super like hardcore technical, but I find that like some of the Korg synths, like I love the MS-20, has that kind of like bass sound, and like that kind of they're just
quite amazing with Korg, how even down to their small things like the Volkers, you get such a big sound.
Completely. I love the Volkers. To be honest, I'm a kind of like Korg fan. Like I've got quite a few, and then I have a really old Casio that was my mum's as well, and just like, I don't know, I just kind of go for a sound and just really that kind of becomes like the pillar of the composition, and then I kind of build around that.
It feels really like painting to me, the way you're describing it, kind of the way you're feeling it out and just connecting with what resonates and building from there.
Yeah, and also like I didn't really know like how people really build songs. So for me, like I had like written poetry for years. I actually got some poetry published many years ago in Spain, and like I had never really done anything with it, and I found that actually that process really hard of marry some of the poems to the music. It's almost like they were speaking different languages, like they just didn't quite so that took a long time to kind of find, okay, this bassy cave, like these lyrics don't quite, like how can they make friends?
And was the voice a key part in finding that mesh between the words?
It's almost like the veil between two worlds. I really like all the kind of paranormal stuff, so and like I wanted something that didn't sound male or female. I wanted something that was kind of, I don't know, it was more about the feeling it conveys. Like Black Square, for instance, is about depression, and depression is very, it's like quite a dark voice, and I wanted the vocals to reflect that. A lot of the compositions I make are about my experience of chronic illness and mental health and just life in general. And so I think like having like a broken voice and something that isn't clear makes sense to me, because I think life is far from clear, and but I think there's also beauty in that kind of brokenness in a way.
Definitely.
Let's make the world fresh and strange.
So what has your creative process been like for creating these songs, and how has it differed for you from creating worlds for events as a DJ?
When it came to DJ, like, I had to really think of like the audience. And then when it came to kind of the making music, I just kind of didn't want to think about other people.
Yeah.
So it was more like, okay, yeah, like I really like this sound. What can I do with it? How can this develop? And not really thinking about whether, who's it for? It's for me. Like it's an expression of me and my life, and you know.
It really comes across how personal it is, and yet you're still creating these worlds, but it's different. It's your world we're going into now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good way of describing it. Yeah.
Cool. So you are selling some extremely limited edition hand-painted canvases
Yep.
that are constructivist inspired, and they go with the Black Square single.
Yep.
What is it about sort of constructivism and suprematism that really connected with that song for you?
I'm a trained art historian, and I was always really obsessed by like the kind of the work from like Russian artists like Casimir Malevich and others. Really, like just really kind of captivated me. Like I just found just the composition so simple yet so powerful. And I went to an exhibition in London about Malevich, and kind of I just remember like, oh my god, I need to do something with this. It's just so beautiful and so simple.
So we talked a bit about Black Square, but that's just one aspect. Like what about some of your other creative influences on this project?
So my next song or track or single is called FATIGA,
which was out last Friday, everybody. Go check it out. It's on Bandcamp now.
Go check it out. And FATIGA is about the limitations of living with a chronic illness, but also feeling like, sort of like fabulous, chronically ill but fabulous.
I love the video for it. I was going to mention this actually. I love how you have this kind of distorted, sort of damaged figure, and then this figure that's sort of bursting with life and power. And I was wondering if you could talk a bit about those.
Yeah, of course. So so fatigue is about chronic illness. Tengo fatiga, sono la fira. So I'm Spanish, and the word means tiredness, like exhaustion, but I wanted to play a bit with language in it. So one of the things that I found really strange is that the worst thing you can say to a person in English is CUNT.
Yes.
And that is like female genitalia.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on, we're like insulting people, calling them a female part of the body. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So in Spain, we don't really have something like that, but I found that in Italian, figa means, it's also like, it's the same thing as CUNT, but it's actually like the bollocks, like is the bee's knees.
It's really positive.
Yeah, it's a really positive thing. And I thought, well, why does it have to be like a horrible thing? So
I love that.
The kind of concept is like, yes, I am broken, but I'm the bee's knees. So like,
that's brilliant. How did that video come together? And Black Square as well. Like you've explored so many sort of ideas visually, but I love the costuming and the design and how you look, as well as the way the videos are structured. Is that also sort of through experimentation and just trial and error, or do you have like clear visions for what exactly you want things to look like?
Usually I have a clear vision of how I want things to look like. So there's different artists that I really like. So I really like Maison Margiela, the designers. I really like Damselfrau for like their masks. And I just kind of try to experiment with them and kind of adapt them in different ways. For Black Square, like I really wanted to play with a kind of aspect ratio and try to keep it on a square, and the main suprematist colours are black, white and red. And then with FATIGA, so I wanted to like show like different women, but also like the colour scheme is pretty much, there's a lot of like pink and red because it's just about the blood and the skin and the kind of womb, and it's kind of like an ode to femininity in a way.
Yeah.
And so I crocheted my own little vulva that I wore in the video.
That's great. Oh, that leads me to, another question actually. So your songs are very personal and you touch on these themes of like, you know, womanhood, your Spanish heritage, your physical and mental obstacles, like chronic fatigue and depression. But your visual identity and the treatment of your voice makes you anonymous. So what led to the decision to make you anonymous? Is it kind of just to make it more accessible for people?
It's almost like having an alter ego to my day-to-day life. I'm really supportive of drag, and I'm kind of more like, I see it as an opportunities to be creative.
Yeah, I like it. It moves things more into the realm of ideas as well when it's less representational in the conventional way.
Yeah, and also I think there's something for me about making electronic music, spending a lot of time with like machines and computers, and make the visuals same thing, computer. So I kind of feel like I need an avenue that is more like material based, where I can actually get like messy and creative and get my glue gun out and try different things, and that feels really important. Yeah, and I think it's kind of creating a persona.
There's freedom in assuming different identities.
Yeah, completely. And I just think I can be so much more creative.
So with Black Square, you have this fantastic cover of the Utopia theme.
I'm a massive fan of like Cristobal Tapia de Vera, which is the composer, and he's also done like the soundtrack for Humans, the White Lotus. I just love his work. And whichever track that I'm putting out, there's also a cover of like a song I really like. And with Fatiga, the pairing, it's a Spanish track from McNamara, who was in a band with Pedro Almodóvar, the film director. Yeah, and he's like a total icon in the gay world in Spain. So they do match thematically. So Fatiga is about women. So Y Mi Marido, which is the cover, it is also about women.
So your new single and video for Fatiga came out on Friday last week. It's available to buy now on Bandcamp, or you can watch it on YouTube. So what's next for Petra Black?
So what's next? So I've got a few more compositions or tracks that will be coming out in every Bandcamp Friday. And there's lots of other things that I do that might come into the project. So like I also make soap. So one of the ideas was to create some merch that's like handmade soap that
brilliant.
You could with geometric shapes and stuff like that.
I love that. There's an artist I like called Ziemba, and she designed fragrances to sell with her
Amazing.
albums.
Why not?
So you can go into the smell of the album.
Exactly. Why not make it like experiential? So there's lots of different things that I'm kind of like working on. But I do this because like I'm a creative person and like I love it. You know, when like in the darkest creative hour, when you feel really frustrated, and then like someone buys like, I don't know, a t-shirt or buys one of your tracks for more than the asked price. That's like, oh my God, I feel so moved. But it's like, wow, people value what I do. That sounds incredible. So
it is. It really is.
All over Bandcamp. So
fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a real pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see the next release.
Thank you.
Look her up, check her out, give her a comment. Petra Black, thank you again.
Thank you. Bye.
So that was Petra Black. Thanks for interviewing Petra Black.
Brilliant.
It was great.
Thank you so much. And like we mentioned, you can go check out our stuff on Bandcamp.
Yeah, totally. So, what have you got?
Lots of people were talking through that. Lots of interesting questions for Petra Black, and also discussion. I'm catching up on the horror films as well. Orcspin mentioned Barbarian Sound Studio, which is a very good film. We saw that a few years ago.
All about Foley artist with Toby Jones.
Yeah, in Italy on
lots of mistreatment of red cabbages and various things being sliced up.
It's got a wonderful eerie feel. We watched recently In Fabric, which was by the same team with a soundtrack by Cavern of Antimatter.
Oh yeah.
Didn't hit home as well for me. I just didn't really vibe with the story of the weird gothic ladies and their
yes.
strange ways.
The haunted department store. But the music was good.
Music was good.
Cavern and Antimatter rule, by the way. Go and
Yeah.
check them out.
Wagyu mentioned Slither, which we did see. It's fantastic.
Now, is that the exploding slugs?
Well, the slugs that make humans explode.
That's right.
It's got Nathan Fillion from Firefly and Serenity in it, and it's a real sort of tongue-in-cheek horror film set in like the Midwest, and these slugs attack and fill people's bodies till they explode.
Have we had any suggestions we don't know about?
Yeah, Robert Fat Dust Hesh mentioned Pearl, which I don't know.
Pearl.
Never heard of it.
Check
So
that
we'll have
out.
to look it up. We wanted to mention while we were trying to remember Slither, we thought of Splinter, which was also quite a good B movie with a weird splintery infectious thing, and Feast, which is great. It's set in a bar in the
Henry
middle of nowhere.
Rollins.
Henry Rollins guest appearance,
Acting
and
his way out of a paper bag.
is super gory and funny. It's funny, horror. Good horror is funny, and
Yeah.
even the really dark, scary stuff like The Shining has its funny moments. A few people mentioned they can't do horror.
What are the funny moments in The Shining? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just laughing out of terror. A couple mentioned that they can't do horror. Stefano said horror, can't watch it. And D-Vision said, not since Poltergeist can I watch horror. Now, I used to be like this. I tried to watch The Shining on my own once, and I couldn't get past the first shot where the elevator doors open and the hallway fills with blood. I was
That's
just
not
like,
the first
nope.
shot.
Well, the first sort of tense moment in
Well,
the
you weren't-
film where you're just like, what's going on? And until...
Do you know, I didn't tell you this. The other day, a couple of days ago, you'd gone to bed, and I suddenly realised I want to see the opening shot of The Shining, the aerial shot following the car and the Wendy Carlos music. I ended up watching the whole film all the way through. I just couldn't stop watching. It's just such a lovely visual feast.
That's like the thing. Every time that starts, we have to watch it to the end.
Yeah, maybe it's doomy, drony synth sounds.
Maybe.
Because there's a lot of that in
But
the
anyway,
thing.
I too was like you and could not watch horror until one day Chris sat me down and made me watch.
I think I might have strapped you in. I'm not sure.
Made me watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
All the way through, I was going, I was freaking. I go, when's it going to happen?
Abusive husband.
You kept
Abusive
saying,
husband.
You kept saying, it'll be worth it at the end. It's all worth it for the final shot. And at the end, that final shot comes, which is great. But I was like, no, it wasn't worth it. And but after that, I am very grateful because I'm now cured and can watch horror films, even if
I think
through
the words,
my hands sometimes.
I think the word is desensitized through trauma. I think that's what's happened.
But it's a very good film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's quite hard to find good horror films. We go through the list sometimes and check things out. There's an art to it,
Yeah, there's a lot of rubbish out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're quite right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre just does one thing, but it really, really does it.
The soundtrack's really good for it as well. People really underestimate sound in these films.
Oh, yeah, because it's got those, I forgot what they're called, those metal harp things. That noise.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we did a show once with someone that we were supporting someone that had one of those and I had a go on it. They're brilliant.
Lots
Really
of
good.
fun.
Anyway, what else we
mentioned
got?
also Nick Bat mentioned talking about the
Hey,
bug.
Nick.
He said PA speakers ain't what they used to be. I remember good old point and turn it up stacks.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So-
there was really no power there at the show. It was very disappointing. I mean, consider it's Kevin Martin. It was his previous project was God, which was basically an extremely noisy band. On the way to Fabric on the train from Brighton, our friend Stan was telling us. I mean, I've heard this story before, but he and his friend went to see God at the Zap Club in Brighton, and everyone was just slowly backing away because it was so terrifyingly loud, and they ended up on the beach listening to it. So I think that's something to aspire to.
Wow.
You claim to be doing life-changing levels of audio.
Yeah.
I mean,
He must have
internal
been-
organ reconfiguring sound pressure levels.
He must have been disappointed because, I mean, that's the thing when you're doing these shows. You don't always know what you're going to get unless you're a huge artist with massive riders and,
Allegedly,
facilities.
Fabric has an award-winning sound system, but I don't know what award it won.
It was quite clear. It was just needed that.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't present.
But it was great fun. It was good fun.
No, it wasn't.
We have news about ourselves now. We've kind of been going into a really busy time coming
Yes.
up. Working on a few projects at once. The compilation album, artwork's nearly complete.
Yes, and I've been remixing and re-recording some parts of very old songs and getting them ready for mastering. And Finley's enlisted possibly the help of a very impressive mastering engineer. So I'm being very careful to supply the files in the correct format.
Also,
I
you're
can tell you.
having to migrate things from a dying MacBook, literally sitting on. We have a massive sort of fan that you're sitting the MacBook on, which it lives for, I don't know, 5 minutes a time.
No, it can go for as long as 20 minutes, but
20 minutes.
when it starts up maybe 3 times out of 5. So there's a real sense of urgency going on
You're
at the moment.
Taking things over to the new system.
I mean,
to get them
literally,
ready.
even our last album is on there, so I've got to start getting stems out and getting everything else. Obviously, all the recordings are fine because I can just pull the hard drive, but the sequencing, the projects and everything, that making waves is no longer available, as far, I'm pretty sure. So I'd have to rebuild it from scratch.
You're
So that's been...
You're going to have to render stems of everything, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to render stems of everything, literally everything, 10 years worth of everything. But so that's been traumatic, to say the least. But there is a plus to this whole trauma.
There is.
It's all about trauma tonight. Have you noticed? I'm going to talk about
Well,
MK Ultra
it's
again.
Halloween time.
Halloween,
So we
traumatic
must
times.
embrace the darkness.
Yes. So in going through all these disparate hard drives and finding our way through everything, I have basically found a lot of music which we never released and which we still love, but for one reason or another, we never finished it, or we finished it and it never found its way on, or it was just an idea that we, sometimes
Other ideas superseded.
Exactly. Sometimes it just drops away. So I found a fairly large number of tracks. I mean, it's a finite resource. It's not limitless. And we had the idea of doing something for our ampled supporters. Did we mention the pronunciation, by the way?
I actually emailed them to find out the pronunciation. A few people in the chat room are right. It's ampled,
It's
as
ampled.
in sampled, not amp-led. I thought amp-led, like you're led by the power of amplification. But no, they mean ampled as in it's an ample gift to people.
I still can't get used to
So
it.
ampled.
Ampled doesn't sound like a word
And
to me.
ampled, for people who don't know, ampled is like Patreon, but it's for musicians. And
Yes.
it's run by musicians. It's not run by venture capitalists. We post bonus content on there, like unreleased songs, stems, cocktail recipes we've just posted, and all the previous episodes of BOOcast. So there's quite a lot of stuff on there you can explore. It's like $3 a month to join.
I mean, that's all you have to do. I'm just going to show you our page because in case you haven't seen it, there it is. There's our ampled page. And so you go there. There's our followers. Thank you very much. So we've got Halloween Cocktail. There's ampled. I'm going to say ampled. I'm going to say Moog and I'm going to say ampled.
You're spoiling the exciting announcement.
This is our first ampled EP, which is 6 tracks from our archives, which never got released, never saw the light of day, but we both still absolutely love, and we're giving them to our Ampled supporters. So if you want that, there's going to be a new one.
Put it away.
Every
People
month.
might see the codes.
Oh, you might see the codes.
I'm hoping
I was
it's too
going to
small.
screenshot the codes and get them for yourself. I won't do that again. But as you can see, there's loads of stuff. We've got the previous BOOcasts are available on here because they drop off YouTube. We've got stems. I haven't put stems up yet for today, but I will do that hopefully tomorrow if I get time. A whole bunch of stuff. Exclusive tracks. There's our cover version of WXJL Tonight.
Anyway, don't spoil it all.
Anyway, look,
there's lots of stuff there.
There's loads of stuff. So
good reason to join your
do go and
compatriots.
check it out. But yeah, I thought that might be quite a nice thing to share with you. Just you might be interested because in some ways it's a little bit more about the writing process as well, because the way things didn't make it. You can sort of see the bones of other ideas.
And you can see like how much we mess around as well, because some of the tracks are quite, they're all different moods, the whole range of emotions one goes through when making things, but there's a lot of silliness in there as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few comedy moments.
Yeah.
But hey,
Lastly, on Ampled, one of our fans mentioned that if you have technical issues when joining or logging in, do contact their support team. They had an issue with MasterCard payments this month. Hopefully it's been resolved by now, but he did say that their support's really good. So it's just a small team of people, so just do reach out to them and they should be able to help you pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they seem to be there at least, which is great. So once again, thank you ever so much for supporting us on Ampled. Hate that word.
Other news. There's more news.
What?
So
is this good news or bad news?
Yeah, no, we've got this BBC introducing thing set up for sort of end of January-ish next year. We're going to try and organise a show in Brighton around that time. We haven't, nothing is official yet, but so we'll keep you posted. But
what Brie means is no one's got back to us.
No one's got back to us yet. So we have to kind of go knock on doors and go, hey, can we have this date? And hopefully the dates are still there because the stuff's getting booked up. But ideally, we get to play for you guys live soon. That would be awesome. That's what we're trying to make happen. Also, I just wanted to mention, just briefly, as we're going into such a busy time where we're just working really hard on not new music, which is what we really want to be working on, but we're kind of getting a few other things out of the way, like doing the compilation album. We're going to be getting ready for live. We've got day jobs in the meantime as well. And I just wanted to mention, keep in your creative and workload balance and tips for how to do it. For me, I really like having a routine, and one of the most important parts of the routine is to move, because I sit at a desk all day and it makes me feel like I'm dying because that's what happens. I mean, I think it does shorten your lifespan being immobile.
Are you going to share a link to that Korean lady that shouts at you?
She's
and tells
not Korean.
Where's she from?
Malaysia, I think.
Malaysia, sorry. Sorry, everyone.
That's okay. No, I just, every day I do some exercise, and I don't like the American ladies because they're just like, oh, it's all so easy. We can just do this all day long. High kick, woo, feel the burn. And it's really disheartening, but I really like this particular instructor who sweats buckets like I do because she's a human being. Anyway.
I've got a robot on my phone which just goes, do 20 press-ups. And I go, no.
I like your robot lady. It's quite cool
as
well. It is a lady, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lady. You got a problem with that?
Watch out for that.
Yeah.
But there's 4 things. So there's movement, writing, singing, and now playing piano. So I make time for these things every day, and it just makes me feel a bit more sane, a bit more happy. And when the busy period finishes, we'll be ready. We'll be armored like knights, ready to go into battle and do great things sonically. So,
and I've been spending my time buying keyboard stand solutions.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm going to go and buy a circular drill for cutting through steel.
Ooh,
because
that sounds fun.
To cut a big hole through some steel so I can fit something through it.
To the hardware store.
Yes.
Yay.
Not B&Q though.
I looked up Japanese Amazon today. Just apropos of this.
Did you?
I was... Yeah.
It's my birthday soon.
It is your birthday soon, but I actually needed a special Japanese diary because they make the best diaries in the world. I was all German, but now it's Japanese. But I found an article by a guy saying he orders all his specialty hardware tools from Amazon Japan because they're better price, they're better quality. So if you need specialty hardware tools... And
presumably if you don't mind waiting 2 months for it to arrive. But with the current world situation as it is.
Yes.
What a fantastic planet we're living on. I hope everyone's happy and okay out there.
And thank you, lastly, I mean, this is kind of the last thing. Just thank you. We've dropped out of social media completely and wanted to say thank you so much for all the sharing and forwarding of our stuff that you guys are doing and people who are supporting on Ampled, because it does so much for us and it means a lot, especially now that we're not there. So thank you.
I'll tell you what, it feels nice though, doesn't it?
It's amazing.
It feels a lot more healthy.
It's like, I don't know, a burden has been lifted. But we will ease back on there a little bit when
things are happening.
When things are happening live with releases and things like that.
Yeah.
But thank you anyway. It's nice to take a break. We're very lucky.
Yeah. So, that's it. So, I think we might be overrunning a little bit today. So, we do have Synth of the Month
as ever
coming up. Is that are we done?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Synth of the Month. Pressing buttons. Pressing the wrong buttons.
U-turn.
Pressing the right buttons. Synth of the month. The BOOcast synth of the month is the DSI OB-6. So, as a teenager, I always thought of Oberheims as huge, overblown, over-expensive synths for hair and spandex rock bands. Van Halen was not my bag. I preferred Japan, and they used sequential circuit synths, right? And boy, did I want a Prophet 5. Spool forward to 2015 or thereabouts, and we were invited to our good friend Simon Forsyth's barbecue, which involved eating sausages and having a very lovely rummage around his impressive collection of old synths. Standing gleaming in the collection was his original Oberheim 2 voice, and we made a beeline for it, and its sound, primarily of its amazing filter, blew us away. My teenage self stood corrected. I also found out that day that yes, Japan used Oberheims too. The OB-6, released in 2016, was the first collaboration between Dave Smith of Sequential and Tom Oberheim, with Tom designing the 6 voice cards and Dave slotting them into what is basically the chassis of the Prophet 6. We surprised even ourselves when, given the choice between a Prophet, the synth I had desired since I was 12, and the OB-6, we decided on the OB. But did we make the right choice? Okay, let's have a look. So we've got 2 oscillators, a mixer with a sub-oscillator in there, and a noise, a filter, a very special filter, 2 envelopes, one for amplitude and one for the filter modulation and other modulations. Pan spread, spreads the voices around. Program volume into the preset. And over here we have one solitary, lonely little LFO with lots of destinations, which we'll come to. The cross-mod section, which is sort of taken from the Prophet series of synthesizers, and some aftertouch amount. Transpose, hold, portamento, and detune, which we'll come to again. And all the presets are in here. There are 1,000 presets inside the synth, 500 of which are user definable. And the right globals button, and we've got all the MIDI controls and all the other gubbins up here. So let's have a look at the oscillators, and what I'm going to do is initialize a patch. So we press manual and tap right, and that gives us, well, this oscillator all the way to the left is a sawtooth, but we can slowly morph it into a square or a pulse wave, and we have pulse width control, which goes to around 90%, 50 in the middle, and all the way through 0 all the way at the end. And it kind of still works when you're morphed in that region there. If you can hear that, you just get a little bit. Oh, it's still working. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So when it's all the way to sawtooth, you get nothing from the pulse width control. But when you're over here, even slightly, there's some mangulation going on. That's amazing. And we've got frequency control, which is coarse. So we've got, I think the standard place to put it is in C. VCO2 is sort of the same, except we start from a triangle wave, morphing into a saw, and then into a pulse. Again, with the same deal with the pulse width modulation there. Oh, you can hear that. Again, we can tune it coarse like this in semitones, but we've also got plus and minus the semitone on the fine tune. Oscillator 1 also has sync, which at first I was a bit confused because you've only got this kind of coarse tuning of the sync. Let's turn the oscillator up again. So you can't do that. It's quite interesting. It sounds like talking. But the I've always thought, well, why is it tuned like that? It's really odd. But of course, you can attach the pitch of VCO1 to the envelope over here. So there we go. So we can get all that stuff. There's no way of putting VCO1 on its own into the pitch wheel. So you can't do that by hand. That's a slight limitation perhaps. So also with the oscillators, we've got a sub-oscillator here, which is tied to VCO1. And unlike on the Prophet 6, this is a square wave. So it's a little bit beefier of a sub than the Prophet. Interesting thing that happens, because the sub-oscillator is tied to VCO1, when you put VCO1 into sync, if you can hear that, what happens is, so I change the frequency of VCO1 and it's in sync, the sub-oscillator is kind of latching onto different notes inside it, which is quite... At first I thought, well, why is the sub-oscillator not attached to VCO2 where the more subtle tuning is? But this is quite interesting because you... See if I can make a sound that actually uses that. So I've just made this sound very quickly. We've got... So the filter envelope is controlling the pitch of VCO1. It's been synced to VCO2. Now if I bring up the sub-oscillator, you hear it's... The sub-oscillator is kind of fighting to hear what frequency VCO1's going at, and it's sort of changing its mind halfway through, which is quite... So that's pretty useful, isn't it? So here's a little sound that utilises that effect of the sub-oscillator trying to latch on to what frequency VCO1's at when it's going through sync, so... You can hear that, it's... even went to a fifth there, I think. There's no filter modulation going on here. This is all the sub-oscillator jumping around. The synced VCO1 isn't just good for, well, obviously the sync sounds and that kind of strange special effect kind of thing happening with the sub-oscillator jumping around. Here's this rather nice piano sound which I've made. Bring up the amount of velocity. Bring down the volume a little bit. So let's look at the filter. This is the thing that really made us choose this over the Prophet 6. And I wanted a Prophet my entire life. And it's a recreation of the filter on the original SEM module. And it's state variable, and you can sweep it from low pass through notch to high pass. It's got a nice resonance. It's 12 dB. It doesn't self-oscillate, but as you'll hear, it has a pretty special quality. So. Now, I'm not saying this is identical to the original SEM filter that I heard that Simon let me hear. The thing that basically brought tears to my eyes. But it's close. So there's the low pass. Let's go through. Let's take off all the effects. That's low resonance. But you can hear that there's something going on there. And here's full resonance on low pass. Now even on that fairly pedestrian sort of thing there, I hope you can hear there's something about this filter. And what I'm going to do here is just boost it up into the notch region. And by the way, this is something you can't do with the OB-X8 because it's switchable. You can switch between low pass, notch and high pass, but you can't do that. Bring up the resonance. Slightly into high. Okay, have you listened to those harmonics as they drop down? Just sounds to me like a billion tiny little bells being rung as it drifts down the frequencies. Another thing I'll say for this is that everything's on the front. You don't have to go into any page 2 buttons and getting to anywhere to change it. We can do bandpass as well. So while we're on the filter over here, let's have a look at the X mod. So this is the bit that we've kind of stolen from the Prophet series of synths. So we can let's do the LFO first. So the LFO is pretty good. There's only one of them though, but we got a choice of waveforms. Let's modulate VCO1 pitch, VCO2 pitch, or both, pulse width for 1 or 2 or both, amplitude, filter frequency, that's the cutoff, and filter mode, which is this. You can modulate this knob. There's only one LFO, so, but at least the square is unipolar, so it's very easy to get the tuning like that. So that's the LFO, but over to cross mod. So here we get to choose between the filter envelope and VCO2 doing some modulating. So we can modulate VCO1 with VCO2. Let's just hear that on its own. Ah, but it's synced. And here you get really interesting. Change the waveform of VCO2. All kinds of stuff going on there. Also adjust the shape of one, so that can work with the envelope too. We put it into sync. Oh, another thing I forgot to do is we've got all these waveforms for LFO1. If you choose the random and go up to higher speed, it becomes noise. So we can use all the things together. As you see, I haven't put any thought into the sound at all. So there's a sequencer which is polyphonic and it's up to 64 steps. So and there you go. Leaving your hands free to do whatever you want. While we're on here, let's look at the effects. So we've got 2 effect slots. We'll look at effect slot A first. So off is one of the effects, how useful. Bucket brigade delay, which can be clock synced. Digital delay, which ditto can be synced. Chorus, I think that can be synced. Phaser can be synced. The ring mod. So we can have it working on its own freely like that. Also, the levels are here. Let's bring it right up. Totally mess it up. Or if you flick this on, the ring modulator follows the highest note that's being played. It's pretty useful. Just add a little bit of mess in there. Let's keep that. I'll have a look through. So we've also got the ring mod, the flanges, and that's it. Let's stay with the ring. On number 2, we have bucket brigade delay. Again, we also have a digital delay, chorus, phaser 2, phaser 3, ring mod, flanger. But we've also got a hall reverb, a room reverb, plate reverb, and a spring reverb. One of the many Easter eggs in this synth is the the spring reverb. If you turn it right up full. Just stop that. Now I don't know why they bothered doing this, but you know, you can pretend you've actually got a real spring inside your OB-6 if you really want to. Whoopee! So there it is in this little blue pinstripe suit. Isn't it lovely? You see how quick and easy it is to change the sounds. It's just... Anyway, so yeah, the original OB-6 firmware came with a detune which was very, very wide and wasn't entirely usable. And they brought in a firmware update which introduced MPE control, so you can do polyphonic aftertouch on it with an MPE controller. They also souped up the detune knob to make it closer to the vintage knob on the Prophet 5 reissue. And what it does is it takes each of the 6 voice cards and sort of gradually spreads them out. And it seems to be a sort of predetermined detuning area. But it not only does it detune them to different degrees per card, it also messes with the filter settings, so they get a bit spread as well. And also the envelope settings get a bit spread. So you get a general sense of a sort of a synth that's getting old. Each of those notes has got a different filter setting, but the detune is much less broad and insane than it was. There is a lot of chorus on here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear. You can hear that messing up as the detune goes in. We press unison as well. So unison we can get up to 6. So yeah, it's great. So what it does is basically knocks all of those individual 6 SEM style synth cards which are inside this thing off slightly. So there it is. There's one LFO, a bit of a limitation. There's only one initial amount knob for all of these features with the one LFO, which can be a limitation. It's like sometimes you just want a little bit less vibrato going on, but a lot more pulse width modulation going on. And you can't do that because it's all one knob. It's a bit of a limitation. Another thing which I've often thought, God, wouldn't it be great if they did this? So we've got 6 individual monophonic SEM style synths in here. Wouldn't it be great if they made it possible for you to split them? And so have the first 2 do one sound and the second 2 do another sound. And the third one could be used for extra LFO duties or extra modulation duties or something. Basically, you'd be like building an old style 2-voice synth, like built out of 2 SEMs. You could sort of pretend you've got 2 SEMs in here and have that 2-voice architecture going on. Surely there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to do that. Oh, come on, that'd be so good. And plus you'd be able to split the keyboard. Okay, you'd only get 2-note polyphony per sound, but that'd be Oh, God, that'd be lovely. I think one of the defining characteristics of the OB-6 is how organic you can get it to sound. So check out this fake mellotron sound. Not bad, eh? To stay in this realm of organic sounding sort of things. So trying to get this sort of junk shop harmonium in the rain type of sound. Using the LFO, which is modulating the pulse width here to give it that sort of the feeling that you've got your feet on the pedals. And there's a little bit of loudness on the aftertouch. Also went through a period of very much using the effects as a way of building the sound. So yeah, obviously the timed delay with the clocked LFOs. Another great thing to do is to use the cross mod or the X mod, and using VCO2 to modulate VCO1, you get those classic Japan style ghosts bells, you know. So I went through a period of using the digital delay with lots of extra feedback, tuned really short to get these ringing sounds. And you can tune it with the delay here, so. Also using the sequencer or the arpeggiator, get some really nice rhythmic sounds there. So we've got timed LFOs, timed bucket brigade delay. I use this sequencer all the time because it's synced to the LFO and it's synced to the effects, and you've got this lots of control over what's going on. Can't remember what this was for. Maybe I never used it, but. So yeah, we've got all that stuff going on there. There's a ring mod, there's a bit of reverb. The LFO's been synced in, and 8th triplets, oh dear. And yeah, it's a good sound, isn't it? So there we go, that's the OB-6. It's a lot cheaper than the OB-X8. There we go. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Yes, it is a lot cheaper than the OB-X8.
Oh, it's lovely.
I actually had a play on the OB-X8 in GAC. I'll tell you about that in a second. We've got some messages. Thank you very much.
I didn't actually write down who said
thanks
this.
Thanks for still being there, and thanks for not falling asleep.
They said OB-6, it does make up for your regressible sale of the Juno 6. It kind of does.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, it does.
Cultural Ghost said, I don't mind 49ers, but I wish this was 61 key. But how many years until there's a Behringer clone?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? The whole thing about having 61 key, and now we've got an 88 key piano in the house, it really does make a difference to the way you play. It's the feeling of expansiveness going on.
I never really thought about it before, but yeah,
it's huge. Really,
the scale of the range of music you can play is really limited. I mean, of course, you can use octaves and things on synths, but to be able to use that full range with just your hands without having to tap things up and down. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's great if you're sequencing things or triggering things or playing bass lines or doing leads, which is the kind of stuff that I do generally. But if you're actually playing, I actually went to the OB-6 today and I realized it's 3 octaves. I can't play that. No, I can't play that, and I can't play that. Not that I'm a player at all. I'm just. I'd really like to expand that side of myself because it's so wholesome and healthy and nourishing.
I mean, we did talk about the Expressive E on the Sonic Talk that we were on, and that looks
that's
amazing.
Now, how much?
I think it's about 1,200. I can't remember. It's over $1,000.
So I've never touched one. Be interested to know what it feels like. Does it have the capability of feeling piano-like? Because it looks like it's got very long throw sort of. Wow, look at my hand. Wow.
The power of the lens.
That's terrifying. But it looks like it's got really long. I imagine it
probably has a piano-y feel as well as all the additional. I like the sugarly function. I'm going to call it. You can kind of wiggle the key.
The sugarly function.
The sugarly function. Actually,
who was it? Mocha.
Mocha's stuff did nail that quote. It's
well
still
done.
game. That's plenty, Jack.
Aye, that's plenty.
If you think you've exhausted all the greatest sitcoms in the world, you haven't seen Still Game.
Go and watch Still
It's
Game.
Amazing.
Watch the lot of them there. Fantastic.
It's
And if you have a
Glaswegian.
problem, I think you can get it with subtitles.
Can you? Like Gregory's Girl.
No.
It was dubbed, wasn't it?
We found it. We downloaded a copy of Gregory's Girl, and we got about half an hour through it, and I was going, "There's something wrong with this." They sounded Scottish. They sounded a bit Scottish, but it wasn't.
It was polite Scottish.
It wasn't right. And you
It
know,
wasn't Glaswegian.
they released a special version for the US market with slightly toned down accents of Gregory's Girl. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming you all know what I'm talking about when I talk about Gregory's Girl, right?
They probably don't.
Well,
They might know Local Hero. That was kind of his blockbuster, wasn't it?
yes.
Bill Forsyth.
Bill Forsyth. I'm just looking at you and thinking, Claire Grogan.
Oh, you
It's
flatter me.
the same haircut as Claire Grogan. Bridget's a bit worried about how long her hair is at the moment, by the way.
Is it getting too long?
Is it
I was
too
just looking at all the archival material. I was like, I had it quite, punky short in the past. Ah, well, it's winter. I like growing it long for winter like a horse. So, also on the
What?
OB...
I missed
like a
that.
horse.
Sorry, I was in technical land there. Growing it like a horse.
Horses grow their coats for the winter.
What? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not just people stop shaving them for the winter? Do
People
horses
shave
get shaved?
horses. People shave horses, don't they?
You heard it fifth. They shave horses, don't they?
Back on the OB-6, let's stay focused.
Sorry.
Wagyu didn't realise it had so many built-in effects.
It does. And they're not bad. They're actually really nice. And thank you, Wagyu. It is a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, okay, the reason we got the
Separating
OB
the stems.
is because Simon Forsyth, who I believe is maybe playing at the EMOM. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Now the internet knows.
Quick, switch everything
It's
off.
too late.
But he let us play with his two voice, and that's the thing that made me go, well, blimey, listen to that. And that's the reason we got this. And wouldn't it be just
Be amazing.
just make it like that?
Mm.
Make it
It's
like
within
that for
their
us.
power. It's one of those things when you think about these companies. It's within your power. Just do it.
Because it's got these 6 analog synths with envelopes and filters and oscillators and everything's all in there. Not the LFOs. The LFOs are digital. But, as I said, you could use the other 2, the spare 2 cards to do...
Well, you don't
Anyway.
need to sell it anymore because Andrew Kubachewski has gone and ordered it.
Well, the OB-6.
Yes.
But, Andrew, you do already have an OBX8, don't you?
Mm.
Yes. And how is that? So I played the OBX8 and it's nice, but I tell you what, when I came to selecting the filter modes and it went, you can have low, you can have notch, or you can have high pass in the same. I just went, I reject this.
I want to sweep.
I'm thoroughly annoyed.
I'm a sweeper.
I'm a sweeper. God damn you. It's great. It's lovely. It's big. It's very nice how big it is. And how many keys has it got? It's 5, 6. 5 octaves, 6
It
octaves.
feels like the Polyvox, like it's built to withstand the end of the world.
And the other thing is, I'll tell you what else is the fact that the OB-6, I mean, almost everything is on the front panel. It's just all there. There's no switching around to be done. So there you go. I see you looking. What's happened?
Yeah, so Nick said yes. Technomatic and Martin Swan are playing.
Martin Swan's playing. My
Headlining,
goodness.
doing 30 minutes.
Fantastic. Okay,
Woo!
so I mean, come on, buy your tickets now.
Hell yes.
That's worth it,
That'd be
man.
brilliant.
Martin Swan's playing. Fantastic. Are they playing together or are they playing as two separate?
I'm not sure.
We'll find out. Possibly.
You might say.
Keep that as a mystery, maybe.
A few other things talking about keeping fit because we're all sitting at desks all day. Wagyu said he's got a cross trainer near the desk. David Hill has
A what? Wait, what?
a cross trainer.
What's that?
I don't know. Maybe it's one of the things that go like that. You know,
Who's
where,
got
where
that?
your legs swing.
Is Wagyu doing that?
I don't. Yeah, Wagyu.
Are you doing that right now, Wagyu?
And David
It
Hill.
would help me if I could picture it.
David Hill recommends a
Is that
stand-up
what you're doing?
desk. Was my gesturing not clear enough?
It was, but I'm looking into the internet and going, Wagyu, are your arms and legs moving like that? Are they?
We can only assume they are. David
Okay.
Hill recommends a stand-up desk.
Yep.
And
You've been on about those for ages, haven't
Andy
you?
Mack followed up with stand-up desk floor mat makes your life a lot easier. I kind of went in between. I've got a big thing that's quite tall and a saddle stool, a saddle chair, which thank you Andy McCreath for the recommendation. I sat on one at his house and my life was instantly changed. I could never go back to a normal chair, but it forces you to kind of sit up properly and use your core, and it's like sitting on a yoga board but more stable. And yeah, I was so sore for the first month of using it just because they're muscles that I hadn't used for years.
You probably noticed I'm not talking about what I'm doing to keep fit or to
You have a robot lady. We covered that. It's not me.
Basically, my idea is to have the robot lady just shout at me. I ignore her and I'll just atrophy to the point where medical intervention is required.
Oh, no.
That's
No,
my
no.
entire plan.
That's not a good plan. I think you should listen
Isn't
to
it?
the robot lady. I think she needs, like, some way to poke you.
You heard that, right? She's telling me to listen to the robot lady.
We had
Whatever she tells me
more
to do.
recommendations of
Okay.
horror films.
What?
Mocha
Did we?
Stuff said Suck with Iggy Pop and Alice Cooper as a laugh. That sounds great. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Wagyu said, I bought a vampire motorcycle which has Neil Morrissey in an unforgettable battle in the bathroom. Is that Neil Morrissey from Men Behaving Badly?
I think it is.
That sounds awesome.
An unforgettable
I think he's
battle in a
hilarious.
bathroom.
We're going to have to
Google.
find that. Man, we should have come to you guys earlier. Someone recommended The Stuff from the 80s.
I
And
don't know that.
Andrew Kay said Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, crikey.
And Ian J. Cole, best
Original
all time.
Isn't Cannibal Holocaust found footage? Type?
I think it's made out to be found footage.
Yeah, it's one of the first
It's
found footage things.
properly, what's the word? It's not even B, it's like,
C? D?
what do you call it? It's
F
not torture
grade.
porn, it's before torture porn.
I don't know what that is.
It's just really rough. Close to sort of snuff type.
Ooh.
It's like, I've heard. I don't know though, I've never seen it. Incredibly gory.
You seem
But
to
I
know a
have
lot
to
about
say,
this.
well, they've come up,
And you're also dressed and look like a woman that probably knows a lot about this
about
tonight.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Can I even say it? Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
I have to say, Ian J. Cole, best
Hey.
all time, The Haunting, 1963. Yes.
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 Have to agree with you there, Ian.
Amazing.
And Ian, we saw your reviews of the Edinburgh Festival and we really enjoyed them. Thank you for those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Robert
Robert
Wise,
Wise.
who directed
West Side Story.
North by Northwest. West Side Story.
And I'd
So-
not seen West Side Story until last year. That
Yeah.
is amazing.
Beautiful
Wow.
film. But The Haunting is one of my personal favourite. Properly creepy, properly well written, well acted, brilliant.
And again, it has a sense of humour. It's very
Just what
good.
do you expect to find, Professor? Possibly nothing. Or just possibly the doorway to another world.
Ooh.
But on that vein as well, have you ever seen Les Diaboliques?
Oh, I've got other black and white ones I want to say now. But yeah.
That's a great film. It's not really a horror story. It's more of a thriller, but with a ghosty element. I don't want to spoil the ending. You're not allowed to spoil the ending.
It's fantastic.
But if you haven't seen Les Diaboliques, find that and watch it. It's got... I can't remember who voted for this, or a great number of people voted for this, that says it's got the scariest 10 minutes of any film ever made, and they're at the end. And it's utterly great.
I saw this when I was a kid. My mum got it out, my sister and I saw it. It's amazing. It's really one of those films that stays with you. But also on the black and white front, it's not as good as The Haunting, but it's still quite good for a black and white British horror film. The Innocents is good.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant film.
It's all set in near here, or what's it called? Sheffield Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Dead of Night? Portmanteau movie.
Dead of Night is it's the first ventriloquist horror film.
Yes.
Within this portmanteau horror.
It's amazing. Anyway, there you go.
Am I getting it mixed up with the one where they're all in the dark house? That's the old dark house.
That's the old dark house, 1933. Fantastic, which has Charles Lawton. And that's another amazing film. There you go.
Plenty to be
That's
getting
enough
on
films.
with there. Sound Inhaler is loving Spiders and in Limbo off the Ampled EP.
Thank you so much. Now, Spiders was supposed to be on one of the albums, but we weren't ever happy with the mix or the take of the vocals.
We just never got around
to doing it. We went, we're in a hurry, we've got to get this out. And it just fell by the wayside. So that's on the current EP1.
Yeah.
And we've already got
always like
EP2 and EP3 ready to go. And we're just mastering those now. So, yeah.
And also, KB5 asked if there are stems for the Getaway on Ampled.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. If there aren't, I will happily do that for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. And also, live, Bonnie Jean just joined Ampled. Thank you very much. But
Is
live
that-
joining,
Is that Bonita?
it may be an anonymous name.
Sorry, did I say something I'm not supposed to?
I don't know.
What? This is all gone a bit...
It doesn't matter. We've got a new
Cloak and
supporter
dagger.
on Ampled.
Fantastic.
So
Thank
that's
you very
cool.
much, whoever you are. We aim to give you...
I think it is Bonita Jean, but I just thought she might want to be anonymous because she's not used that name.
Okay. Sorry.
I think that's most of the comments.
Yes.
Our next BOOcast is going to be on December the 5th, Monday, December the 5th. Last time, we had a really good suggestion from Scuzzer. He said, maybe we could have a Christmas cocktail party with Boo. What do you think of that? We don't actually have a Christmas cocktail, so
Wait.
we'd have to invent one.
Will there be drinking involved?
Well, you could have a virgin cocktail, but there would be libation.
I'll talk to my robot lady, see what I'm allowed. Well, what do you think? Cocktails? And another idea I just thunk. If we're all drinking cocktails, we're all getting a bit loose lips.
A bit merry.
A bit merry, a bit relaxed.
Merry Christmas.
You know, letting go of our guard, sort of being a bit more, saying things we might not ordinarily say. How about we do an AMA?
And ask me anything.
Yes. So how would you fancy that? We'll set aside the whole show during whatever else we've got prepared for an Ask Me Anything. You can ask Bridget and I anything you like. Anything.
Are we allowed to lie?
No, because it's Christmas and when you lie, an elf
Jesus
dies.
Cries.
And baby Jesus cries too.
So
So what do you think? Is that a good idea?
Interesting. We'll have to create a new Christmas cocktail because we've got summer cocktails, we've got Halloween cocktail, but we don't have a Christmas cocktail.
Maybe brandy and stuffing blended?
I think whiskey should be involved.
Whiskey, brandy and stuffing.
Stuffing.
Whiskey's basically the same as brandy. I know, I think that's blasphemy, right? Sacrilege. I'm Scottish and everything. Don't let any of my family hear me saying this. But I mean, you can't tell the difference, right? When you're blindfolded, which you should be. What?
Few people are on board with this Christmas party idea.
Okay, fantastic. And an AMA. So ask us anything.
Yeah.
And we might. Hey, how about we? We'll have a. Yeah. Okay,
Come
let's
with
work it
your
out.
questions. Bring us questions.
Yeah.
Interesting questions. And I might be looking at the screen a bit more to write things down in. get things.
That's a good idea. Or you could send them to us first.
Yes,
It's
email them to us.
Orchestra
That's
at
a good
gmail.com
idea.
and send us your emails.
And use the subject line Christmas cocktail party.
Yes, what a great idea. And you can send them in advance, or you can send them in the chat, and we'll probably miss it because we don't. I tell you what,
can put
as
it-
it's Christmas,
What?
let's get someone else
Ideas are
in
firing
to help
everywhere.
us with the chat who can
That's
moderate
a
and
great
watch.
idea.
And Wagyu, once again, thank you for moderating.
I
again.
meant to put in all the links, but you were on it so quick. Thank you very much. But that's a brilliant idea. We can have a question elf, and we can
Yes.
answer the questions.
And then now I'm safe to say that, Wagyu, when you talked about the bike with Neil Morrissey, I honestly thought for a good 5 seconds that you were on a motorbike with Neil Morrissey.
He did. They were separate things.
Were they?
Yeah, the film, and he's got a cross trainer.
Right, I'm confused.
Think how much fun this will be on Christmas when there's alcohol involved.
Yeah, totally. So yes. So it's nearly time to say goodbye. We're really sad to say goodbye because we've enjoyed it.
It's been great.
We don't get out much.
It won't
and
be so long till the next one. Won't be 5 weeks. It should be 4.
It won't be 5 weeks.
Woo.
So for the end of the show, first of all, I'd like to say we're about to go out with the video FATIGA by Petra Black, which we're going to watch. And before we see that, I'd like to say see you at the Sonic State EMOM. If you go, come and say hello. And
If you can't go, you can watch it online.
if you can't go, you can watch us online. Watch it, not watch us, watch it online. And fantastic.
That's it.
Are we done?
Thanks for being here, guys. Really appreciate you all being live here on a Monday night with us.
Yeah, it's been lovely. And thank you for your comments. Thank you for supporting us on Ampled.
Ampled.
Never get used to that pronunciation. And yeah, see you next month.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the week
Merry Halloween.
and month. Take care. Bye.
Bye.